Good evening, good evening, good evening. This is Laura coming to you with another short video. And in today's video, we're going to talk about emotional rape. You heard me correctly, emotional rape. We're going to discuss what is emotional rape and how is it that gang stalking can leave a victim feeling as though they have been emotionally raped. Well, when we think of rape, we think of physical rape. And physical rape, as we know, is a very violent, sadistic act that takes an emotional and physical toll on the victim. And the emotional wounds can last longer and can hurt more than the physical wounds left by this violent act. But just like physical rape, emotional rape is all about power and control. One person has a need for power, wants to exercise that power. They want to make the victim feel powerless, and they want to show the victim that they are in control. Physical rape is never about love, and it's the ultimate type of betrayal, especially if it's done by someone that you know, a family member, a close friend, a partner, such as date rape, even rape within a marriage can have an emotional and physical toll. And so how does physical rape and emotional rape, how are they almost one and the same? Well, when you take out the physical component of it, it's all about one person taking advantage of another person. This person feels more powerful, stronger, and so it's done to make the victim feel weaker, to feel victimized, to feel humiliated, and to strip the victim of all dignity. And so with the tactics of gang stalking, it's all about power and control. It's all about one person or a group of people, i.e. gang stalking, taking advantage of someone, humiliating, degrading, inflicting as much emotional, physical, spiritual pain on this person in order to take advantage of them. And so how are the two alike? How is emotional rape and gang stalking, and how can gang stalking be classified? Or why is it that the victim of gang stalking can sometimes be left to feel like they have just been emotionally raped? And I had never heard this term before, but in my research, I came across a book written by Dr. Michael Fox, Ph.D., and it's called The Emotional Rape Syndrome. And so I took a few notes from the book, and I just want to discuss that with you today. And I want you to see how gang stalking and emotional rape are synonymous to each other. So first of all, when we take a look at, how those two are synonymous, the victims are targeted. In gang stalking and in emotional rape, the victims are targeted for that purpose. And this can be the predator-prey type of relationship in which the person is victimized by someone that they've never seen before. But it can also be, a familiar person that targets an individual that they're close to. And they pull out all the stops to get close to this person in order to take advantage of them. Number two, the victims are duped into thinking that this person is someone trustworthy. And that's in the cases where, it's the acts are carried out by someone that's familiar, that's close to the person. Number 3, they are closely related to because only the victims can see what is happening. The rest of the world, people who are looking at the relationship from the outside, they have no clue. They don't see it. Also, everything that takes place in the gang stalking relationship or in an emotional rape relationship is life-altering for the victim. The victim has something that has happened to them in which they can never, ever, ever go back to being the same person again. How many of you have ever said that? After this experience, I will never be the same again. I will never look at life the same again. I am not the same person that I was before this happened to me. We change on so many levels. And most of the time we change for the better because we become stronger, we become more wiser. But that part of us, that person who we were 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, he or she is gone, and they're gone for good. And sometimes when we take a look back over our life, we mourn that person, but we can't resurrect that person. We can't bring that person back. The way he or she used to think, feel, look at life, operate in life, is gone. It's gone for good. Another thing is that the victims struggle with going from feeling like a victim to a survivor. How many of you can relate to that? I know I can. And last but not least, survivors can't find any type of support. It's very hard to find someone to support them when they're going through this. Even if you reach out to clergy or a counselor or a best friend or your parents or your siblings, sometimes you can't find anyone that understands, anyone that will listen, anyone that will believe you. And so in the book, Dr. Michael Fox, he discusses the aftermath, and he talks about 12 conflicting emotions that victims of emotional rape are left to feel. And these emotions come in stages, but they happen. Not all at the same time, but the victim goes through these 12 conflicting emotional stages. And so what are those stages? And listen very carefully to see how these stages can relate to how you felt, how we felt after experiencing gang stalking. Will you be able to find yourself in one or several of these conflicting emotional stages? Okay? And so before we get into the the conflicting emotional stages, let's see how emotional rape and gang stalking relates as far as how the victim begins to question themselves. Okay? An emotional rape victim may say, did this really happen to me? A gang stalking victim may ask the same thing. An emotional rape victim may say, why me? A gang stalking victim may ask the same question. An emotional rape victim may say, was this my fault? A gang stalking victim will find themselves asking the exact same question. An emotional rape victim will say, is there anything that I could have done to avoid this situation, prevent this situation from happening to me? And I don't know about you, but as a targeted individual, as a person that has experienced gang stalking, I found myself asking that exact same question. Is there anything that I could have done to prevent this? And the answer to all of those questions, my friends, is no. Except for the first one. Did this really happen to me? Number one, yes, it did happen to you. But the answer to all the other questions, no. So, he discusses the emotional aftermath. And so this is where we're going to get into the list of the 12 conflicting emotional stages that a victim may feel. And let's see if you can find yourself in any of these. I know I found myself in several of them. The first one is denial. Did this really happen to me? I can't believe that this happened to me. No, this can't be happening to me. No, this really didn't happen to me. Number 2, isolation. Isolation by others or self-isolation. Number 3, have you ever felt like you've been had or used? That's one of the conflicting emotions that an emotional rape victim may feel, that they've been had or used. Number 4, extreme loneliness, and this can be brought on by the self-isolation or isolation by others. Feeling lonely because with the isolation, you may not feel like going to a family get-together or a party or hanging out. You may not feel like talking to anyone, opening the door, talking on the phone. You may not feel like having company or being in the company of others. And others may look at it as though, we're acting cold and distant and standoffish. But no, it's because of we're trying to regulate everything and come to grips with everything that we just experienced. And so because we choose to self-isolate, or because others isolate us because they don't believe us, or they feel that, we're exaggerating, or we're too sensitive, or there's no way this can happen to you, or I don't know why this is happening to you. You're not that important, so why would people do this to you? We start to feel pretty lonely. We start to feel like we're the only one in the world that's experiencing this or have had this to happen to us. And as we know from joining together in this community, you're never alone and you were never the only one. Number 5, feelings of rage or obsessing over what happened. You can't stop thinking about it. Your mind rehearses what happened over and over and over again. And each time your mind rehearses it, you feel those emotions and pain all over again. It's like you're living in that moment all over again. And you want to say to yourself, well, how do I stop thinking about this? How do I put this out of my mind? You try to distract yourself. And it comes right back again. You dream about it. It affects your dreams. You can't shut it off. At least you feel that way. And I think maybe it's more than just feeling that way. You're actually going through this. You're experiencing this. And it's like a record that's playing, a scratched record that's playing the same part of the song over and over again. It's the same song over and over again. And it never turns off. Number 6, have you ever found yourself feeling this one? Unable to trust or to love. You don't trust anyone. You're unable to give love. You're unable to receive love. You've lost your trust in mankind. You've lost that feeling that, that good feeling about the human race. Maybe you were a trusting person, and now all trust is gone. You don't feel like you could trust anybody. I don't care if you've known them for 25 years. There's still that little inkling inside of you that comes forward, that little voice in the back of your head that says, you know what, I don't know. Can I really trust her? Can I really trust him? Number 8, fear and anxiety. And not only does this fear and anxiety take an emotional toll, but it can show up physical symptoms as well: headaches, body aches, extreme nervousness, unable to sleep, fear and dread, depression. All of those can stem from feeling as though you've been emotionally raped. Number 8, confusion. That doesn't surprise me, because every tactic that game stalkers pull is meant to keep you confused. And if they can keep you confused, they can keep you off balance. And if they can keep you off balance, then they have more control over you. They have more power over you. They can take advantage of you easier if you're always off kilter. Number 9, loss of self-esteem. Your self-esteem takes a serious hit. Your self-confidence, you lose it. You don't even want to look at yourself in the mirror sometimes. And sometimes you even go through a point of blaming yourself. Like, why didn't you see this coming? Why did you allow this to happen to you? You should have seen this coming. You start blaming yourself. Number 10, erratic behavior, such as outbursts, emotional ups and downs, feeling anger and unforgiveness, and then going from feeling that to empathy and forgiveness towards the person. Questioning everything and everyone. And then, under the erratic behavior, the hypervigilance. Watching everything, going through everything, every behavior, every look, every sentence, everybody. They have to be looked at with a fine-tooth comb, judging every action, every word, always on the lookout. Well, why is this person doing this? Why is this person over here? Why did this person look at me like that? Number 11, hidden or delayed reactions. You can be in a joyous occasion and feeling the joy and happy, and then all of a sudden you're flooded with an emotion of sadness and you burst into tears. Number 12, last but not least, is a feeling of a huge loss. As I talked about at the beginning of this video, feeling like a part of you, like your heart has been ripped out. Your soul has been ripped out. Feeling like your heart and your soul has been stumped and kicked and bruised and taken out to the curb like it was trash. Feeling extremely misused, abused, and misunderstood. Feeling like the treasure that was in you that is gone. The light that was in your eyes, you feel like it's been put out or it's been dimmed. The joy that you once had, you feel like it's gone. Will I ever be happy again? Will I ever feel joy again? Will I ever feel safe again? Will I ever feel secure again? A feeling of a huge loss, like a piece of you has been taken away and scattered in the wind, to never return. To feel like everything that you've built, the building blocks, have been knocked down and they can't be rebuilt. Or to feel like you've come to a place in life and you've just plateaued. And that feeling stuck. And that there's no rope, there's no hope to pull you out of this. I know, because I've been there. And all of these feelings, Dr. Fox explains that it can be related to a veteran who comes back from war and has PTSD. Has PTSD. So I'm not going to have this video to go on too long. I've had it to go on long enough. But I just wanted to talk about this. And I wanted to know if you found yourself in any of the 12 conflicting emotions. And in the end, from learning about the emotional rape syndrome, do you feel that your experience with gang stalking has left you feeling as if you've been emotionally raped? let me know in the comment sections below. Okay? I'm going to wrap it up right here. If anything that I said resonates with you, if you enjoy the content of my YouTube channel, please take the time to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share this video with 2 to 3 other people. I didn't mean for this to go on too long, but I just wanted to make sure that we talked about how gang stalking and emotional rape, how they're synonymous, how they're closely related. And if you want to purchase the book, it's The Emotional Rape Syndrome by Dr. Michael Fox, Ph.D. Okay? So, my friends, stay strong. And as always, until we meet again, bye-bye, my friends.